Hello and welcome to Secular Shethinkers, where secular girls geek out and justifiably rage. I'm your host, Dori Mooneyham, and today is June 29th, 2014. Tonight is going to be SRS Journal Week number 3. That's pretty much it. But first, a word from our sponsors. Shethinkers is sponsored by Audible.com. To check out their service and get a free audiobook of your choice, go to audibletrial.com/Shethinkers. You can download books to your Apple and Android devices and just about anything else you might want to listen through. Again, go to audibletrial.com/Shethinkers to download any free audiobook of your choice. That's SHETHINKERS, Shethinkers. Okay, so let's get down to business. The biggest thing that's changed for week 3 on my SRS is dilation has started. For those who aren't aware, which apparently was a lot of people on my Facebook, after SRS, I have to maintain my vaginal canal daily for the next 2 years in order to keep it in shape. So what that entails is I basically have these doctor-prescribed dildos. Don't get excited because they're not exciting. They're literally like boring, perfectly cylindrical, smooth, stints is what they're called. But they look like dildos, so, call them what you will. But they're little stints. They've got inches measured out in them so that I can make sure that I put them in at the right length or depth or whatever you want to call it. So basically what that entails is I have to lie back and push these in as far as I can, firmly for 30 to 40 minutes at a time, which sounds really, titillating and exciting, but it's actually mildly painful, kind of, It's not fun. It's not like I'm masturbating or anything, which I think is what some people thought was going on. No, it's basically just stretching out my vaginal canal for 2 hours a day. Again, it might sound exciting, but it's really not. It's time consuming. Like I said, it's 2 hours every day, and I split that amongst 3 different sessions, so it ends up being 40 minutes in the morning, 40 minutes in the afternoon, and 40 minutes in the evening. I'm trying to figure out how I'll make that work with my school schedule. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just splitting up that afternoon schedule into the morning and the evening schedule, which by the time school starts will be about 3 months after. So I think that'll be acceptable. I'll ask my surgeon when I see him next week, but I've known lots of other girls that have done that, so that's probably the route I'm going to go with, because I don't really want to have to try to dilate at school, because that's awkward and weird. So yeah. But yeah, dilation's time consuming. I end up having to lay out like all my materials. I basically have this giant pad that I put out on my bed first, and then I have to smother my stent in KY jelly. I have to get out my hand mirror, baby wipes, toilet paper, my whatever stents I'm using. Right now I'm just using the first stent. Next week I move on to the first and the second stent. By the end of 2 months, I'll be using all 4, or at least the 3 biggest ones, so that's fun. What else? Oh yeah, the thing that's painful about dilation is insertion's kind of painful at first, but you get used to it, I guess. I'm not sure. And it's also painful, basically, like pushing up against the equivalent of my cervix for 30 minutes is kind of painful. And, I don't know, kind of impractical, at least to me. I don't think, the average vagina is 4.5 to 5.5 inches deep, and mine is deeper than that, which seems kind of impractical to me, but, I have a male surgeon, and male surgeons seem to be overly preoccupied with vaginal depth, I have noticed. It's not just Chetowit, it's pretty much every male surgeon is obsessed with how deep your vagina is going to be after SRS, which seems kind of silly to me. I mean, like I said, cis vaginas really aren't that deep anyway, so I'm not sure what the concern is, but dudes are more concerned about vaginal depth than us ladies seem to be. And he's the one doing my surgery, so whatevs. It is what it is. What other things have come up? Oh, the other thing that makes dilation painful is, I have to spread my my legs and my labia in order to do it, at least at the beginning and at the end. And my my outer labia is definitely healing up quite a bit. The swelling's going down. My stitches are starting to fade. All of that's healing a lot. Inner labia, though, is definitely still raw and tender. It's funny because my first week, my clitoris was really sensitive, and now, for the last couple weeks, it's just been painful, and I think that's just because of the healing process. So it's still really sensitive, it's just so sensitive that it's painful because it's healing. So, when it's healed up, I'm sure it's going to be great, but as of right now, it's just, when I have to stretch out my labia and it leaves my clitoris exposed, it gets really, really tender and sensitive, and not in a fun way either. So, those are the two sources of pain with dilation. That, and, like I said, it is time-consuming, but it's also kind of vulnerable, too. Like, I don't know, you're doing this thing that looks dirty, except it's not. It's just part of your, maintenance, your hygiene, something you have to do. So it's weird. I've had to, I've had to work my schedule around my dilation, which kind of sucks. Really it's between my dilation and my medication, but thankfully my medication's nearing an end. By the end of this week I should be done with meds, which will be nice. Then I'll just be on, ibuprofen or whatever for swelling and general pain. My pain's gone down quite a bit from last week and the week before. I'm definitely healing pretty well. I have increased mobility quite a bit. I can walk like a mile and still be feeling fine. Like, earlier this week, I walked down, it was about a mile, I think. I walked down to this shopping center that had a grocery store. There's actually a grocery store closer to me. The Tesco Lotus is a couple blocks from me, and the Tesco Lotus seems to be like the Thailand equivalent of Walmart. It's got electronics and groceries and clothes and everything else in it. So that's been nice. That's where I've been doing, it's where I've been getting what I need to get these last few weeks. But I walked a little further to this one shopping center with the Max Value grocery store. But what was cool about this place is it had lots of food shops, both Western food and Eastern food, so that was kind of cool. I had some fried rice while I was up there, and then I also had a blizzard, so that was awesome. I've noticed that I don't think they use corn syrup over here, probably because they don't have crazy amounts of corn subsidies like we do in the States. So I have noticed that a lot more things have real sugar in them than they do over in the States, which makes everything taste a lot better. Even Western food that I'm used to still tastes better over here. Like, my Oreo Blizzard was fucking amazing. It's like my favorite thing I've had over here. I mean, the fried rice and other Thai food is nice too, but it kind of upsets my stomach, so I can't go too wild on the spicy stuff. But yeah, getting better mobility. I still can't really, play tourist or anything, because I can only really stay out for like an hour, maybe two at a time, before I get really tired and have to go lie back down, chill in my hotel room, Which, yeah, that's the other thing, is I'm really bored and kind of stir crazy. I mean, I've been in my hotel room for like 2 or 3 weeks now. At least I'm not bedridden, but, I'm getting tired of it. I'm bored. Oh, what else? Like I said, the swelling's gone down quite a bit on my outer labia, which does make it easier to walk, and it does makes things a lot less painful. There's some things that I've noticed that I'm kind of concerned about, but I'm also trying to not be concerned about it, because I know that I still don't really know what the final product is as far as my vagina goes, that swelling's going to go down for, up to a year or more, so I really don't know what I'm going to end up with until much, much later. But, all of that said, I do have to stare at my vagina multiple times in the day while I'm doing dilation, and so I'm sure that's bound to make any girl self-conscious and uncomfortable, but, it's just, I've noticed one side of my labia seems longer than the other, and I'm sure nobody else will care, but it bothers me because I have to see it multiple times, and, like I said, my outer stitches are gone, but my inner stitches are definitely still there, and, they look gnarly. I realize that they're holding me together, so I'm not, it's not like I'm trying to get rid of them or anything, but it's rough to look at. When you have stitches inside your vagina, it's hard to not kind of wince when you look at them. I mean, they don't hurt. It's not like I see them or anything when I'm not dilating, but still, I have to look at them a lot. So, the other thing is I'm more self-conscious about my stomach now. I think that's because I lost a lot of weight leading into and right after surgery, and so it seems like that part of my stomach sags more than it used to. So I'm kind of a little more self-conscious about that. But, I can't complain. That's the thing, is I feel like if I complain about my body, then I'm being ungrateful or whatever, but I'm still going to have body issues. It's not like those are going to magically go away thanks to surgery or anything. So I'm trying to own them. I'm trying to realize what it is that's making me uncomfortable so that I can confront it and deal with it, rather than just try to pretend like surgery's magically going to fix everything. And, I'm definitely grateful. It's nice to be able to take a shower naked. It's, my body feels right, which is nice. It doesn't mean I don't have body issues, but it means that at least I don't have gender dysphoria body issues, which is good. So, that is what it is. What else? Well, like I said, with the mobility issue goes boredom, too. Oh, there's only so much you can do stuck in your hotel room. I go for short walks every day, and I do that because it's good for healing and it gets me the hell out of here for a while. So I usually go for like 15 to 30-minute walks every day. Try to walk as long as I can and try to see some sights. I'm not exactly in a touristy area of Thailand, but it is what it is. It's still, cool to walk around and see. I walked around last night, and that was pretty cool. It was Saturday night in Bangkok, and even though I'm not in a touristy part of town, everybody definitely, had their lights up, and it was bright and colorful, and it was kind of cool. I walked down to the corner store and got some stuff to make for dinner, and then walked back to my hotel, so it's not like I'm living the high life over here or anything, but it's still cool to see, and, kind of take in some of the sights and look around as much as I can. I don't know, it's pretty neat. I've noticed that men definitely pay attention to me over here, which is kind of funny. I get a lot of attention, especially from, there's all these, like, motorcycle taxis all over the city. And really, like, every block that you go, there's, like, a small group of men who are sitting around waiting for somebody to hire them to drive them somewhere on their motorcycles, So, yeah, I've noticed that they definitely seem interested in me. I can't tell if that's because they're hoping I want to hire them or if they're just interested in me because I'm a random white girl in the middle of Bangkok, but it's either way. What else has been going on this week? I've basically been getting daily gynecologist visits, which is different. It's gotten me, a lot more comfortable with it, especially since I know my nurses very well, and they've seen me in pretty much every compromising position that they can. So, I'll be like an old pro by the time I get back to the States when I have to go see my gyno there. I'll be like, alright, let's do this. If I can spread my legs every day for my nurses, I'm pretty sure by the time I see a gynecologist, it's not even going to be a big deal by that point. Definitely feeling homesick. It tends to come and go. This morning definitely hit me a lot harder, and I'm not sure why. But, it's been like 3 weeks or something since I've been home. And, yeah, email and phone and Facebook and all of that still isn't an adequate replacement. I miss Chris, and I miss Dirty Nerdy, and my mom and my sister, and my fur babies. But I only have another week to go, so trying to make the most of it, trying to see, trying to be as adventurous as I can while I'm out here with limited mobility, but really I just want to be done and I want to go home. And I'm tired of everybody online telling me that I'm, I'm touristing wrong. I mean, I didn't come here to be a tourist. I came here to get surgery, so Any tourism I manage to get in is a bonus, literally. I mean, I'm basically tied to my hotel. I can't venture that far from my hotel because I have to keep up my strength and rest, but everybody gives me grief for what I'm eating or what sites I'm missing out on or whatever. I don't know. I just want to be home. I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of being stuck in my hotel. If I have to be stuck on a bed, I'd rather be stuck on my own bed. I'm stuck on my own couch. At least then I get my family. But I'm almost home. I'm almost done. I'm trying to keep it in mind, but it sucks. I don't like being alone. I just miss human contact, you know. That's definitely one of the things that I miss more and more. I can tell that my nurse Noi seems to understand that. Usually when she's over here, if she's the one who's giving me my daily exam, she'll give me a massage or something like that, which is nice because it's nice to have some kind of human contact. I have a couple neighbors who one of my neighbors is another patient of Dr. Chetowit, and her mom is here with her. And they're from Great Britain rather than the States, so we don't see each other too much. I mean, we are both in recovery. I can tell that my recovery's gone a lot faster than hers has, because, you know, I'm still tethered to my hotel, but I'm not tethered to my bed, you know. I go out for walks every morning and evening, and I don't think she does that. I usually see her mom out on the porch, though. I'm sure her mom is going stir-crazy. But her mom likes to swim at the pool that we're next to, or hang out on the porch since she's a smoker, so I tend to see a lot more of her mom than I do of her. But other than that, I'm pretty sure there's another patient of Dr. Chetowit's the next house over, but she seems a lot older, and I don't see her nearly as often. I'm sure her recovery is even slower than both of ours, so my neighbor, I don't want to throw out names, but my neighbor's a little bit older than me, maybe a few years, but she's still pretty young, so it's nice to have somebody who's kind of in my age bracket going through this, because it tends to be a lot older clientele. I mean, I'm sure the cost is part of that, so. But I don't know, there's a big difference between people who transition early in life and people who transition late in life. And the more I interact with a wider and wider base of trans people, the more aware I become of it. You know, I've heard one of my mentors has described it as when you come out early in your teens or your 20s, you're building a life. But when you come out later, say your 30s, 40s, 50s, You're deconstructing a life. And I think that's a big difference. I think when people get all concerned about trans women having internalized male privilege and all these other things, I don't really think any of that applies to early transitioners, at least not to the extent of late transitioners. And I'm not trying to dog on anybody who comes out later, but there's just I don't know, it's like night and day, coming out later in life and coming out earlier in life. I can appreciate it was a hell of a lot harder to come out earlier in life, previous generations. So again, not dogging on anybody, but it's harder to relate to older transitioners. That's why I like one of my mentors. I guess I can use her pseudonym, Aunt Melanie. I like her a lot because even though she's older, she transitioned around the same age that I did, and so it's kind of, I don't feel kind of self-conscious and weird around her like I do with some of the late transitioners that I've been interacting with. It's funny, it seems like when you have your surgery like I have, it seems like people come out of the woodwork to talk to you online. I've had a lot of people that I don't even know, like, I straight up don't know who they are. We have some mutual friends, but they end up sending me these, like, weird, overly personal private messages on Facebook or whatever, and I don't know, I can handle that from teenagers, which, that's who I generally work with, is teenagers and young adults, and I can handle that sort of thing from a young person, especially given, my professional history. That's what I do. So I don't mind young people kind of unloading themselves on me with what's going on in their lives, but it's just weirder to have somebody who's like twice my age unburdening themselves onto me. I don't know, it seems inappropriate and weird. And so I've ended up blocking a couple people because of it, because I don't know, I don't even know what to do with that. Even weirder is when they, I don't know, I've had a few that try to engage me in, like, fashion tips or something, and I don't know, I'm just not really into that. That's not why I transitioned. That's usually what I want to tell them. Like, I tend to be kind of butch most of the time. I like to think of myself as a pretty tomboy. I like femininity, but I don't have the time or the patience for it. It's really the honest way of putting it. I have a lot of respect for femme people, because I know there's a lot of shit that goes into being femme, and a lot of that shit is stuff I don't understand or really have the patience to learn to understand. So when people try to come at me for that kind of advice or enthusiasm or whatever, I'm just like, that's cool. I'm probably not the person you want to talk to, though, because I'm definitely not into that scene. I can try to hook you up with other people who are, but most of the queer people that I hang out with, don't really buy into the whole you have to be feminine in order to be respected as a trans woman thing. So, yeah, I don't know. It's been weird. like I said, somebody who's twice my age coming at me for advice on things that I don't give advice on. Like, I don't give advice on fashion tips. I don't give advice on how to speak femininely. Like, that's weird. I just talk like me. That's how I talk. And I'm not talking about speech coaches or anything. Like, I understand that it's harder for some people to transition their voice than it is for others. I'm talking about, like, what speaking patterns and things like that are more feminine. And that's just kind of weird and sexist to me more than anything else. Like, I don't know, what's your idea of feminine inflection? You know, like, there's the stereotypical, like, males are monotone and females are more sing-song or whatever, but I don't know. I know, there's monotone women out there. Look at Daria. Daria's hilarious and Daria's monotone, but you're never going to accuse Daria of having a masculine pattern of speech, so I think a lot of it is just, I don't know, weird cis-normative sexism wrapped up. It could just be me showing my privilege, since I don't really have to worry about whether people are going to know I'm trans or not. I'm granted cis privilege everywhere I go, so I don't really have to worry about whether I'm appearing feminine or not, because I can show up in jeans and a t-shirt without any makeup on and groggy with a cold, and I'm still going to be respected as my gender. So maybe this is just some sort of survival tactic that I'm lucky enough to not have to engage in. But I don't know. I don't think you need to learn how to walk like a woman or sit like a woman or any of that other stuff. I can understand voice coaches to some degree, just because if you haven't taken choir or something like that, then, it's probably harder to realize how to change where your pitch is coming from and things like that. And to me, that's really the only difference, is unlearning the things that testosterone may or may not have done to your voice. Like, that makes sense to me, but not speech patterns or whatever. That's weird. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe it's because I'm a queer trans woman. And, I don't know, as the years have gone by, I'm less and less concerned about whether people know I'm trans. At this point in my life, I generally just assume people know I'm trans, or I assume that they'll figure out I'm trans, soon enough. I don't really come out to people anymore. I just, do my thing. Live my life, tell people about my life, and maybe they'll figure out that I'm trans, and maybe they won't. I know a lot of my classmates weren't aware that I was trans until they started friending me on Facebook. And to some degree, I did that on purpose, because I don't like being the brave little tranny that people look up to. I don't know. It's hard being a token friend. And what bothers me more than anything else is I don't want to be the good trans woman, if that makes sense. And I'm aware that I fill that place in people's heads a lot of the time, because, like I said, I'm granted cis privilege, and so I know that there are cis people who look at me and say, oh, that's, I'm a good trans person because I look like a cis person. And I think that's bullshit, because, my genes and the way that I dress and whatever else, my appearance looks like what we have said a cis person looks like. But it really annoys me when people tell me that I don't look like I'm trans, because I am trans and this is what I look like. Therefore, this is what a trans person can look like. So you just need to expand your idea of what trans people look like and what cis people look like, rather than shit all over my brothers and sisters by implying that they don't, that they look trans and I don't. That's just shitty. And I don't accept that kind of cis-sexist bullshit. I think I've gone off on a rant, but that's okay. I'll be back after this commercial and then talk about what my last week is going to entail and leave off with a counter argument. So be right back after this commercial.
Y'all better quiet down. Nothing. I've been trying to get up here all day for your gay brothers and your gay sisters in jail. They write me every motherfucking week and ask for your help. And you all don't do a goddamn thing for them. Have you ever been beaten up and raped in jail? Now think about it. They've been beaten up and raped after they haven't spent much of their money in jail to get their cell phones and tried to get their sex change. The women have tried to fight for their sex changes or to become women of the women's liberation. And they write STAR, not the women's group. They do not write women. They do not write men. They write STAR because we're trying to do something for them. I have been to jail. I have been raped and beaten many times by men, heterosexual men that do not belong in the homosexual shelter. But do you do anything for them? No. You all tell me to go and hide my tail between my legs. I will not longer put up with this shit. I have been beaten. I have had my nose broken. I have been thrown in jail. I have lost my job. I have lost my apartment for gay liberation. And you all treat me this way? What the fuck's wrong with you all? Think about that. I do not believe in a revolution, but you all do. I believe in the gay power. I believe in us getting our rights, or else I would not be out there fighting for our rights. That's all I wanted to say to your people. If you all want to know about the people that are in jail, and do not forget Bambi Lamore and Dora Marks, Kenny Messner, and other gay people that are in jail, come and see the people at Star House on 12th Street, on 640 East 12th Street, between B and C, apartment 14. The people that are trying to do something for all of us, and not men and women that belong to a white middle class, white club. And that's what you all belong to. Revolution now! Give me a G! Give me an A! Give me a Y! Give me a P! Give me an O! Give me a W! Give me an E! Give me an R! Gay power! Louder gay power!
What's up? This is Dori.
And the Dirty Nerdy.
As you probably know, Be Secular is a proud sponsor of Secular Shethinkers.
But did you know the owners, Shannon and Mark, are not just sponsors, but also fans?
That's right, and we're fans of theirs too, because Be Secular doesn't just sponsor Shethinkers.
They sponsor lots of podcasts, artists, and organizations that support equality and the separation of church and state.
And we're all about equality and the separation of church and state.
They donate up to 50% of the profits to us as long as you go to besecular.com/shethinkers.
So be you, and be secular. Again, that's besecular.com/shethinkers.
Hey folks, this is your co-host Dirty Nerdy, here to talk to you about Audible.com. Did you know Audible has nearly 200,000 titles for you to choose from? They've got everything, fiction, bestsellers, periodicals, you name it. And because you're our listener, you get a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook just by going to audibletrial.com/Shethinkers. And we get $15 for every listener who signs up. Yay!
Woo!
This week, we personally recommend The Purity Myth, How America's Obsession with Virginity is Hurting Young Women. Jessica Valenti argues that the country's intense focus on chastity is damaging to young women. Through in-depth cultural and social analysis, Valenti reveals that powerful messaging on both extremes, ranging from abstinence curriculum to Girls Gone Wild infomercials, place a young woman's worth entirely on her sexuality. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/Shethinkers. Again, that's audibletrial.com/Shethinkers for any free audiobook of your choice.
Planned Parenthood believes in the fundamental right of each individual throughout the world to manage his or her fertility, regardless of the individual's income, marital status, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, age, national origin, or residence. They believe that respect and value for diversity in all aspects of their organization are essential to well-being. They believe that reproductive self-determination must be voluntary and preserve the individual's right to privacy. They further believe that such self-determination will contribute to an enhancement of the quality of life and strong family relationships. To donate your time or money, or to utilize their services, go to PlannedParenthood.org. Remember, for every dollar you donate to Planned Parenthood, Jesus blesses an aborted fetus. Hey, we're back. Alright, so when we left off, I was basically going on a rant about cissexism, which, you know me, I love ranting about that. There was one thing that I thought about during the commercial break that I wanted to bring up. It's kind of funny. One of the things that I have noticed is smidges of sexism involved with definitely like the difference between my surgeon and my nurses, and little things that I've noticed. Like, for example, my surgeon was the only person that I interacted with leading up to surgery, and I think it's interesting that there were 3 men who were involved with my surgery. There was my doctor, obviously my surgeon, Dr. Chetowit, but then there was also my anesthesiologist and the surgery nurse, who is the only male nurse, but I can't help but notice that he's only involved with surgery, he's not involved with daily care. Meanwhile, the female nurses are only involved with daily care and not with surgery. And I've heard about that. I've heard that surgery tends to be viewed as more masculine or whatever, that there's definitely a gender divide. I've heard that's true in the States, and I think that seems to be true over here too, that surgery is seen as like masculine or whatever. And so it is true that the vast majority of SRS surgeons out there are male. But what I think is funny is that my surgeon was the only one I interacted with before surgery, and then as soon as I had a vagina, I almost didn't see him practically at all. I saw him once after they took off my dressings and everything, and that was like 3 or 4 days after surgery. And then I saw him again before I left to go to my hotel. But I think it's kind of funny that the men are involved in creating my vagina, and then once I actually have a vagina, then it becomes woman's work. Is kind of the impression that I get over here. Which, you know, to some degree I'm not complaining. It would definitely be a hell of a lot more awkward to, you know, have a male nurse involved with my daily maintenance and whatnot. In the same way that I would never want to have a male gynecologist, I certainly wouldn't want a male nurse dealing with these particular issues. So I'm not complaining, but I don't know, it's weird. It's something that I've noticed, and I'm sure that there's some degree of sexism involved in kind of setting up that harsh divide. Really, I just think it's more strange that there aren't women involved in the surgery process. I mean, obviously you need nurses in the operating room, so it seems strange that only males are involved in the operation, and then the pink collar jobs of taking care of the patients goes to the women. So I don't know, it's something weird that I've noticed. And my other favorite little thing that I've noticed is so when I was sent to my hotel room, I was sent with a big bag of goodies that had my medications and the bed pads that I had mentioned, as well as you know, sanitary napkin pads or whatever, panty pads, panty liners, a big case of KY jelly for my dilation, a set of dilating stents, baby wipes, a hand mirror. And one of the things that I was sent with was a douche. And my surgeon on his website has mentions that you should be douching, but I think it's funny that my nurses have not mentioned that I should. And I asked one of my nurses about that after my first couple days of dilation. You know, I said, I forgot that I had this, and that's true, I had forgotten that I even had a douche in my little bag of goodies from the surgery center. But I was cleaning up around my hotel room and I found it. And so when my nurse came over, I was like, so I forgot I have this. Am I supposed to be using this after dilation? And I swear she wanted to roll her eyes, but she didn't. But what she said to me is, well, if you feel like you need to, you can. I just thought it was hilarious. Like, it seems to me like what is probably the case is Dr. Chetowit thinks that it's necessary, and the female nurses know better, but they don't want to say anything. That's kind of the impression that I got. So I thought that was kind of funny. I was actually kind of concerned about that when I was getting ready for surgery, because I was like, I don't want to douche, man. Douching is terrible. And my nurses agree with me, so I'm not going to. Which is nice. I wasn't sure, you know, I was like, well, maybe my vagina is different from other vaginas, and it doesn't have the awesome self-cleaning properties that vaginas do. But no, it does, so that's nice. Glad I don't have to douche, because douching is terrible. So, in case me or Dirty Nerdy have not made that aware, that's why douchebag is such a hilarious insult, and why it always makes me giggle when men try to claim that it's a gendered insult. And I'm like, no, it's a perfect insult, because it's some stupid shit that male doctors think is necessary, but is actually harmful for your vagina. So I've gotten to experience a little bit of that firsthand, which is kind of fun. Oh, what else? So, going back with the homesickness thing, yesterday for me, or today for you guys, whichever, because it's the 28th back home, and it's the 29th over here. But either way, the 28th was the 45th anniversary of the Stonewall riots. And so it's kind of weird because there's no acknowledgement of it here. And I know back home, I mean, granted, I live in the neighborhood, but I know back home there's celebrations and pride festivals and things going on. And even though our Pride Parade isn't until September, I know that we still make a big deal every June, because June is Pride Month, and it's Pride Month for a very specific reason, and that's because we started a fucking riot 45 years ago. So the 28th of June is a pretty big deal. I didn't really have anything I could do to celebrate it over here. I posted some Facebook stuff and, had some queer conversations with friends and things like that, and that was pretty much the extent of what I could do for Queer Pride Month or the anniversary of the Stonewall riots. But I like to think that getting my vagina is pretty damn queer, so maybe this is my own little way of celebrating while I'm over here. But actually, the speech that you heard in our commercial break was from the 5th anniversary of the Stonewall riots, and that was Sylvia Rivera. And you guys know how much I love Sylvia Rivera. She refuses to admit that she's the first one. She's one of the first to start throwing shit at the cops when they showed up at the Stonewall Inn that night. And even 5 years later, the whitewashing and ciswashing of the Stonewall riots was already happening. It's amazing how fucking quickly shit like that happens, where white, affluent gay men try to take credit for shit that they didn't have anything to do with, and try to take it away from the people who were actually involved. I can't believe that just 5 years after that happened, it was already starting to happen. But I appreciate Sylvia calling them the fuck out about it. I mean, that to me is what pride is all about. It's about taking your goddamn rights, because you can't ask for rights. Nobody's going to give them to you. If you ask for rights, then they're just going to keep fucking with you. They're just going to keep telling you that it'll be later. Oh, not now, maybe later. Oh, we can't do it now, come back next year. And it's just going to be the same bullshit over and over again until you finally get sick of it and start throwing shit. So, yeah, definitely goes in with my homesickness. And then, coming up is going to be the 4th of July, and I think it's kind of funny that I'm going to be in a foreign country on the 4th of July. It's not like the 4th is a big deal anywhere else. I don't know. Do they celebrate getting rid of us Americans over in the UK? I have no idea, but I'll do my best to celebrate the 4th as much as I can. Maybe I'll they don't have hot dogs here, but maybe I'll have a sausage and pretend it's a hot dog, and that'll be my little way of celebrating the 4th. So, going up into next week, I have my final check-in with my surgeon. So, he'll get to see it now that it's, recovered quite a bit and all of that. And I don't know, I'm debating even bringing up my concerns about one side of my labia being longer than the other. I'm sure it's probably just part of swelling or whatever, and I'll probably just be told to calm down and not think about it. So, I'm not sure whether I should bring it up with him or not, but I'm thinking about it. I'm considering it. But that'll be either tomorrow or Tuesday. My nurse wasn't sure which one it was going to be, so she just told me to be ready. I'm not really sure what all he's going to be checking on, but, you know, my nurses tell me my healing's going really well. I can definitely, everything looks great on the outside, so I can't complain about that. My nurses keep telling me that I have an adorable vulva, so that's always a bonus, right? And I clearly have a sensitive clitoris. It's just a little too sensitive right now when it's still raw and healing, but I'm sure that's going to come in handy once it's healed. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to try to go to Seacon Square next week if I can. It's this like huge mega mall that's not very far from where I live, so I figure I can probably take a cab up there and a cab back home. I'm going to be on a quest to find a shot glass to take home for me and Chris, because we collect shot glasses. I don't know, I'm sure there's classier souvenirs or whatever, but I like shot glasses. I like having them all in one place, and I can look up at them, and I can remember different trips that I've taken and different places that we've gone, and I think it's kind of cool. When Chris came back from South Korea, he brought a soju shot glass that was, you know, for a specific kind of alcohol that they have over there. I don't know enough about their drinking habits here in Thailand to know if there's a special kind of shot glass that's just for some kind of drink that they have over here, but I don't know, I'll look around at the mall and see what I can find and, you know, do my best. I'm going to try to bring souvenirs home for a few people. Nothing expensive, though. I mean, it is what it is, but I'll try to grab, you know, maybe some little artwork or something like that for my sister and my mom, and I actually already have my, a little souvenir picked out for Dirty Nerdy, and so now I just need to find a shot glass for me and Chris to keep for a souvenir, and then something for my mom and my sister, and I think I'll be good. So, but yeah, next week is when I finally get to go home, next Saturday. So what I'll probably do is record an episode of Shethinkers on Friday, and then I'll set that up to publish on Saturday, so you guys will still get a show Saturday. But, yeah, it'll just come out when it comes out. I'm excited to get home. I have a feeling that Chris and or Dirty Nerdy are setting up some kind of welcome home party, so I'm looking forward to getting home and getting to see everybody. Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of homesick today. I'm kind of down, too. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know. Just feeling a little down, and it seems like everything's making me cry the last couple days. God, I was watching early Simpsons because I found a website that I can watch The Simpsons on, and so I was watching the first early seasons, and those were making me cry. It was ridiculous. I mean, I love old Simpsons because even if they are dysfunctional, they still love each other, and that's what I've always liked about The Simpsons. To me, it's the biggest difference between The Simpsons and Family Guy. I really don't like Family Guy because they don't love each other at all. They're not like a good family. Not even in a functioning, dysfunctional kind of way like The Simpsons are. They're just hateful, and I can't get into Family Guy at all because of that. But The Simpsons, yeah, no. Especially early Simpsons. I forgot that Lisa was a lot more fun in the earlier seasons. I mean, I love Lisa regardless, but I liked that Lisa was more like a a gifted kid and less like an adult with a kid's voice, if that makes sense. I like every version of Lisa that's out there, but I like early Lisa the best. Because she's like the lone voice of sarcasm in their family, but she still loves them, so you gotta love that. I've been listening to a lot of Harry Potter, too. Neither of these probably help with homesickness. Harry Potter always makes me think of my mom and my sister. Because, the reading Harry Potter is a big part of growing up for me and my sister. Every summer we used to read the new Harry Potter books until, JK started having delays, which kind of sucked. It kind of threw a wrench into our summer routines, but yeah, Harry Potter makes me think of my mom and sister, and so do The Simpsons, and that's probably weird, but whatever. That's my family, and I love my family, so. That's pretty much it. Hopefully I will see you guys online, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I've been having a lot of internet issues lately, but I seem to have got it kind of locked down in the last day or two, so hopefully I'll be a little more active and you'll get to see me more. Oh, I forgot. I've also been watching Game of Thrones. That's been my new show that I've been watching. I watch a new episode every time I have to dilate, so I have something to look forward to during my dilation. So, I'm not sure if Dirty Nerdy has been watching that or not, but maybe we'll have a Game of Thrones fangirl episode in a couple months once we get back in. I will say Dirty Nerdy and I are still talking about new shows to do once I'm back in town, so we've definitely got some cool shit lined up, and we're excited to get back into the fray once I'm back in the States. So, not to worry, you've got one more episode like this one, and then after that, me and Dirty Nerdy will be back again for real Shethinkers episodes. Haven't decided what our first episode's going to be on. I have a feeling it's probably going to be a fangirl episode, though, because I would like to ease into something easy to do at the beginning of the month. So, maybe Bob's Burgers? We haven't done that one yet, so maybe Bob's Burgers will be our first real episode. But yeah, that's about all the time we have for. Be sure to check out our Facebook. I don't have my little script in front of me that I normally do. But, just remember, Secular Shethinkers is sponsored by Be Secular and Audible.com. And now, in the interest of being fair and unbiased, here is tonight's counter-argument.
At any rate, one nation, to emphasize the fact that our strength lies in our unity. And there are so many forces that are there to try to destroy that unity. It's the only way to bring America down. If you look in a lot of the writings of the neo-Marxists, when they talk about the New World Order, they say there's only one stick in the mud, the United States. How do you get them out of the way, or how do you change them? And they said there were two fundamental things. Their Judeo-Christian faith and their strong families. Those were the things that had to be attacked. And those things have been systematically attacked over the last several decades. There's a book called The Naked Communist by Cleon Skousen, the same guy who wrote The 5,000-Year Leap, lays out the whole agenda of how to attack the family and the Judeo-Christian values to weaken the structure of America. This stuff is not secret. You can read about it. You can read about it in Saul Alinsky's book. You know, his book, Rules for Radicals. It's a quick, easy read. You can see all the things that are happening in America today.
I've fallen to the communists.
Well, they do have some strong arguments.
Say